Okay.
Hello and welcome to our Wellness Universe class. We will talk about Lemuria, Lemurian energies, Lemurian goddesses, and how to integrate in our daily life. I'm Ingrid. I'm from Austria, from Europe. And my co-host is Maya. She is from Australia. So Austria and Australia are co-working and co-creating. I work together with angels, ascended masters, goddesses, saints, patrons, and yes, it's my part to introduce you to my approach, how I work with Lemurian energies. But welcome, Maya.
Oh, thank you, Ingrid. Yes, thank you. It's lovely to be back again and to see everyone online with us. So hello to everyone and thank you for joining us. Of course, I'm Maya Boston. I'm a light language activator and channel, gong practitioner and transformational coach. I can help you to create conscious change in your life so as to align with who you truly are and begin to live the life you always wanted to live. I use a combination of light language and gong sound bath, light and sound, the two creative frequencies of the universe, along with my unique intuitive coaching style to build a bridge into oneness where you are aligned, body, mind, and soul with your purpose. And I'd love to work with you. Thank you, Ingrid, for allowing me the introduction today.
Thank you. So we will start, as always, with some steps into Lemuria, because I would like to take you and go back into ancient times where I'm sure all of us have lived. And today the topic is how Lemurians have spread over the time. So remember, we talked about the Lemurian high civilization existed about 35,000 to 15,000 years ago. It started around 100,000 years, but the high civilization was around 35 to 15,000 years ago. And it's very important to remember that the civilization was that one that existed the longest without external influence, and it was very peaceful and quiet and very high level civilization. And the main purpose of the Lemurians was that they had to integrate or to establish the DNA or a stage for us, what will come for the next thousands and thousands of years. And right now, in this time, in the time of the big change, in the time of the big transformation, we reconnect with Lemuria, with Lemurian energies, with Lemurian remembrance, and the reawakening of the multidimensional DNA also has to do with Lemuria, because they had prepared everything for us. And of course, we have been the Lemurians, so we have prepared of what's going on right now and how we can reconnect with the very high vibrating and conscious level of the DNA. I would like to give you some ideas and some pictures. Remember, there were 350 million Lemurians in the course of the existence of Lemuria. And what's very interesting to know, that every Lemurian, only a few exceptions, had only one life. So the Lemurians came here, they were here, and then they left Lemuria again, and 350 million Lemurians have been in Lemuria and are back now. And if you talk about reawakening or awakening, these 350 million Lemurians are here in the world to change the world. Many of them don't know it, but many of them are aware who they are and where they come from. About 50,000 years ago, the ice started to melt. This took about 5,000 years, and the Lemurians were prepared to this. So they had to change their life, they had to change the place where they lived, and they became a nation of seafarers, and they had to start building ships, because as long as they lived on Lemuria and the island of Lemuria, of course, they had experience with ships, but long distances with ships, they had to learn and to get into this. Heike, would you please mute your microphone? Thank you. So slowly many of them left Lemuria because of the melting ice and the rising water on the planet. And part of the Lemurian civilization settled on the coasts of other mainlands with the help of ships. Remember, Lemuria is said as to be the big island, Hawaii, and it is far away from the next coastline from the US, but they went there. And they also went, for example, to New Zealand or to Australia or to the Easter Islands. For example, in New Zealand, on the Easter Islands, there are not so much signs of them still now. But on the continent of America, there is. Because the Lemurians moved the west coast of the US up to Alaska, and then they went over the so-called bridge, the continental bridge, to the Asian continent. So they spread all over the world. Many of you know this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mountain, Mount Shasta in Northern California. This is where the Lemurians came from the island and lived there, but now they are still there as interdimensional beings. You can feel them if you go to Mount Shasta, if you are sensitive, and they are not living in the mountain like a dwarf, for example, but they are interdimensional beings, and you can meet them there, but also in different countries all over the world. For example, in France, in southern France, Natalie, I could tell you a story about the Lemurians in southern France. You won't believe. I mentioned Natalie because she's from France. Some Lemurians started to found other civilizations together with other people who had traveled far away from Lemuria, and they totally have forgotten their origin. From one generation to the other, they didn't remember that they have been Lemurians. One of those cultures they found, it was called Sumerian, and it was situated in the Middle East. And the Sumerians had a very high culture, and people don't understand where it comes from. Also Egypt, but this was many, many years later. And it's strange that we people today, or our historic teachers, scientists, think that our civilization has started in Egypt. It started in Lemuria, and on the way, on the development, one day it came to Egypt. But this was not the beginning. Over thousands of years, the Lemurians spread all over the world, and the high cultures of different peoples, you can still see their traces today. So this is my next part. I would like to ask Maya to talk about a little bit how to integrate Lemurian energies into daily life.
Oh, thank you, Ingrid. Yes, so we can integrate Lemurian energies into everyday life by connecting back to Lemuria, which, of course, as Ingrid mentioned earlier, the Lemuria was where the currently the Hawaiian Islands are, and we can integrate the energy by going into meditation and taking ourselves to that part of the world in our meditation, but also through the practice of the 6 principles of the circle of oneness, the Lemurian circle of oneness, which is something that I teach a lot about. there were 6 main principles that were taught by the Star Mother in Lemuria, and this was basically the laws of oneness, and it was even role modeled to us by the Star Mother. So, for example, even though she came from a very far advanced society on another planet from the Pleiades, at no time did she ever treat Lemurians like we were less than her. We were always treated equally, as she was our mother. She showed us unconditional love. She showed us how to live in peace and harmony with our environment. She taught us how to feel the oneness of everything around us, from the oneness of the Creator being that created everything, which is not just outside of us but is also inside of us, to the how we can feel the oneness with others, how we can feel oneness with the planet and nature around us, and right through to feeling the oneness with our galactic family, of course, which have been here on the planet long before Lemuria and are still here in quantum states. As Ingrid mentioned, one of the places they are still here, of course, is Mount Shasta, but there are 12 power nodes on the planet, and each of those power nodes has Lemurians living in a quantum state at them. And I have personally experienced this because I've traveled to Table Mountain in Cape Town in South Africa, and I've traveled to Lake Titicaca, and I've been to there's also a second point in the US, which is Mount Ida in Arkansas. I've been to of course to New Zealand, and I've also been to Glastonbury in the UK. So I've been to half of them anyway, and I don't travel there unless I'm called. And of course, 2 years ago when I went to Glastonbury, I experienced the Star Mother who was with us at the end times of Lemuria. She was there. She was a Star Mother that I knew. But all of this to say that these energies are still on the planet, and they are still here because we are being watched and guided along a path of ascension. And should humanity ever choose to go on this path, this energy and the information in our DNA would come forward to help guide us on our ascension path. So holding high frequency energies like joy and peace and unconditional love in our hearts, compassion, these are all the things that the Star Mother taught us. So these are ways that we can connect with Lemurian energy in our everyday lives. Thank you, Ingrid.
It was your idea to talk about nature today, which I'm very pleased. And I thought I would like to remember or to remind people who are joining which kind of nature beings we are surrounded, because when we lived in Lemuria, it was totally normal for us. But over many thousands of years, when we have lost our high consciousness, we also lost the contact or the connection with nature beings. Therefore, I would like to remind you or remember you, and I would like to show you, give you some ideas. And as I mentioned, Avalon or Glastonbury, this is a very, very strong place where you can be reconnected with the nature beings, but of course on any place of the world, even in your house, even in your apartment if you have sunflowers. But we are not aware of this if we are not open for this and try to connect. So, you know, I love pictures. Beings of nature, also called nature spirits or elemental beings, they work closely with the plants, the trees, the animals, stones, and waters. And they have, of course, done in Lemuria, and Lemurians prepared and helped nature to get into this special vibration. So the subtle etheric bodies are not perceptible to most people, just like those of angels, because many people know that they are connected with angels, they believe in angels, they can feel angels. But if you talk about nature beings, they say, oh my gosh, this is just for little children, this is storytelling or fairy tales. No, it is not. It's important to be open for these beings. The level of the beings of nature vibrates on a higher frequency than the frequency of humans. This is the reason why not everyone can feel, see, or interfere with them or connect with them. But the nature beings vibrate on a lower level than the angels. So it's a little bit different. The nature beings provide nature with etheric vibration, which is needed for growing and prospering. The nature or the plants and the trees could not survive with the help or without the help of the nature beings. This is what I didn't know for a long time, but it's totally logical for me right now. The Lemurians and many peoples after them lived in conscious and close contact with the beings of nature. Of course, they communicated with them, they learned from them, and integrated them into their everyday life. And more we do again what we have forgotten over thousands and thousands of years. But the higher our consciousness, the higher our approach to those beings. It's interesting that the beings of nature are working in different areas. For example, the gnomes, the fairies, the dwarfs, and trolls are called the earth and elemental beings. They live under the earth in the stones or mines, and they are responsible for crystals, for minerals, for the earth, and for the ground. The fairy, the elves, and the sylphs are assigned to the element of air. The elves normally occur on their own, and they usually look after flowers. But the fairies are showing up in groups, and they are more responsible for the trees. They are both male and female fairies, and they have insect-like wings, similar to the wings of dragonflies or butterflies, but the elves don't have wings. Then there's the group of the sylphs. I am not sure if this is the right pronunciation. I'm from Austria, not from Australia, but I think you can understand me. Although the sylphs look like elves, they have much bigger wings, which remind us of the wings of the angels. They're responsible for the wind and the purity of the air. And amongst the elemental beings of the water, there are the mermaids and mermen who live in the sea. And in addition, the undines and nymphs who live in the lakes, the rivers, and the streams. And then there are the naiads. They live in the wells, the springs, and the waterfalls. And last but not least, the wyverns have to be mentioned because they are often described as dragons or water snakes. They watch over certain energy spots on Earth, and they are even said to have healing power. The salamanders, the unicorns, and the dragons belong to the natural beings of the element fire. The salamanders are also called fire spirits, and besides the element fire, they are responsible for warm-blooded animals such as horses. They are said to keep the body temperature of animals stable. It's very interesting to know this. The unicorns symbolize the feminine, the wisdom, the purity, and creativity. Originally, the unicorns have supposed to have lived in the physical world before they retreated to sacred places which have very high vibrations. Whereas dragons are called the benevolent guardians of interdimensional portals and strong water and earth lines, such as Ley Lines, for example, going through Glastonbury. This is very important place because they are crossing two big Ley Lines. And there are places in Glastonbury, former Avalon, where you can feel a very strong energy, and this is called the energy of the dragons. Last but not least, there are the so-called small people or elementaries. They usually have a strong personality and are often suspicious of humans. The main task is the maintenance of environment and the well-being of the animals. They annoy people who do not pay them and their proteges any respect. So we have to be respectful, of course, if you go out to nature, because we are watched and we should co-work and co-create with the nature beings. If you would like to get deeper in touch or into communication with the beings of nature, there's one Lemurian goddess, Sinistika, and she can help you to go deeper in touch or to be more aware of the energy and the beings of the nature, the creations, the creatures. And she reconnects us with all our wisdom we had or have brought from Lemuria into this life. And later on, after Maya talks about nature and Lemuria, I will show you how you can use my symbols to heal or help heal the energy of Mother Earth. So Maya, please.
Well, thank you for all that information, Ingrid. That was very interesting. And we might like to ask how we are connected to nature, and the Lemurian circle of oneness teaches us that that the creator being, who is the creator of everything that is also inside of us. We have like a God spark inside of us because, of course, the creator being created us as well. And so the God spark within us maintains constant communication with the Earth Mother, that I like to call it Gaiha, Mother Gaiha. And this is the word that I remember how we called it in Lemuria. And of course I'm saying it, I'm not saying her, although it is a consciousness. That means it doesn't have gender, so it's not male or female specifically, but it has attributes of the mother. So that's why we called it Mother Gaia. And so part of this sacred union, this sacred agreement that we have with Mother Gaia is with between the consciousness of this planet and our God spark that is inside of us. And this is what enables this symbiotic relationship between this planet and us humans. So if you think about human biology in general, it is perfectly aligned with with this planet, which we call Mother. And this is because human biology was created on this planet. Everything from the air that we breathe to the gravity, the distance from our sun, how the moon affects the water on this planet, to the food that we eat, that the biology, this body that we have digests very well, the influence of the magnetic and the crystalline grids, and everything was created in harmony with human biology for this planet. If we look at what is going on inside of us, we can see this reflected in our environment as well. So currently we are going through some very challenging times. Our world seems to be in a lot of chaos, and this is reflected back at us through the consciousness of this planet. Everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we say, it's all reflected back at us. The conflict that we feel inside of us, the noise that we have inside of us, that lack of peace and harmony, that is all reflected in the outside world. We have this inextricable connection with this planet and the nature of this planet. We are all one, going through the same things. Once we create change inside of us, then the world around us begins to change as well. So you have the power to change your relationship with the world around you. And as humans move from the energy of fear and survival into abundance and oneness, which is what this new energy is all about and this new decade is all about, this reflects in the nature of the planet as well. We'll see the changes in our weather patterns. We'll see the different energies of the crystals that come to us. We will see changes in plants and animals too, because everything is going through the same changes that humans are going through at this point in time. You will feel more of a connection to your own heart, to the heart of the Mother, the humanity, the galaxy, and to the Creator itself once we go through these changes ourselves. And of course, the Star Mother always reminded us there is no hierarchy in the circle of oneness, as parts of one are found in parts of all the other aspects, and all is one, one is all, reflecting one another. There is no separation. So you might think back to maybe the last time you spent some time in nature. Did you notice how you felt after spending time in nature? The vastness of the oceans, the greens colors of the forest, the soothing sounds, the uplifting colors, the blueness of the skies, the textures and the smells. It's all there to remind us of the harmony and balance of this planet. When was the last time you expressed gratitude to Mother Gaia while you were sitting in nature, for the air that you breathe, for the food that you eat, for the water that you drink and bathe in, for the sun, for the moon, for the rain, for your very existence in this life? For without this planet creating all of these things for humans, we would not be here. So we are really coming to understand how powerful this connection is to nature, to Mother Gaia, and how we are one with this planet and with all of creation. So thank you for that, Ingrid.
I see one question from Natalie. to explain the ley lines. To keep it short, ley lines are very strong power lines that are going through continents. For example, there is a ley line or two ley lines in the south of England from Mount Saint Michel up next to London and to the east side of the coast of southern England. And these two ley lines are called the female and the male ley line, and they on some points they are crossing. And in Glastonbury, they are crossing 3 times on a very small place, and the power is very strong there. And you have ley lines that are going from Scotland down through England, France, even through Spain. And there are some spots when they cross each other where many cathedrals are built in former times. So people knew about the ley lines, and on the hot spots of the ley lines where they crossed, they built cathedrals or churches. And if you sit on such a powerful cross, you can feel a special vibration, you can shift your energy, you can shift your consciousness. So it's very interesting, and you will find a lot of information if you Google ley lines. I only can keep it very short here. So I mentioned already Lemurian goddess Synestica, and I took this picture of her because with the flowers in the hair. And today I would like to show you how you can use my goddess symbols, which are energized, to do a healing circle for Mother Nature or for Mother Earth. But as Maya, of course, said, it's not a female energy or a little bit of female energy. Gaia is neutral, but you can sometimes feel a warm, hugging energy. Therefore, we call it Mother Earth. So, Synestica. This is the way how the Lemurian healing circles can look like. You see the symbol cards, one in the center. This is the symbol of Synestica, and here is a printout of the planet Earth. But I will show you step by step. Today I want to show you how you can do healing work for Mother Earth with the help of my Lemurian symbols, with the symbols of the Lemurian goddesses. This is the first symbol card. It's therefore important to remember that all the symbol cards contain channeled Lemurian frequencies and information I have downloaded. These highly frequencies of these symbol cards contain vibrating, healing Lemurian energies. So I work with angel energies, with master energies, with Mary Magdalene energies, but these symbols contain Lemurian energies. So make yourself comfortable and make sure that you are not disturbed. Take time for yourself. Then take the symbol cards if you have them, and take number 21, Synestica, the symbol of goddess of nature. Then connect very consciously and intensively with Synestica. You can put the symbol to your heart and you will feel the energy flowing into your subtle body, also into your physical body, of course. Imagine her pale green ray of light softly enveloping you and enjoy her energy. Invite her to come to you. Ask Synestica to accompany you during the following healing circle, the following ritual. Search for a picture of Mother Earth on the internet. I just took this one. You will find another one. Print it out and put it in front of you, or write Mother Earth or Gaia on a small sheet of paper, depending on what you resonate with with more strongly. So it depends on you what you would like to write. place on a printout or the sheet of paper in front of you and put the symbol card of Goddess Anesthetica on or next to it. Now draw 7 more symbol cards and read their meaning, because each symbol has a special meaning. Take every single symbol card, read the impulses on them, and try to consciously connect with each goddess, because each symbol is connected with a special goddess. For example, Malaheka, the goddess of love, or different ones. There are 21 different goddesses and different goddesses energies. Hold one symbol card after the other between the palms of your hands. Close your eyes for some time and feel inside you. Maybe you can perceive their energies. If you are highly sensitive, you will. I'm sure I know this. After this, if you wish, you can write your impulses, feelings, and insights down. Now form a circle with these 7 symbol cards, placing the symbol card of Goddess Anesthetica with a picture or sheet of paper of Mother Earth in the middle. This is called a symbol circle. If you wish, do a meditation, for instance, with the Lemurian gong sound bath of Maya. If you prefer to meditate sitting on the floor or lying on the floor, then place the 7 symbols of the Lemurian goddesses in a circle around you and sit on the 8th symbol, the one of Senestica. You will feel the energy. It's like a column of energy, of Lemurian energy, and you will sit within this column, and the energy will flow into your body and also into your subtle body. If you now watch the class live, you will hear the sound bath within our class. If you see or will see the recorded version, because the program cannot or does not allow to integrate recorded versions, and Maya has already prepared her gong meditation, so you have to click on this link and you will be led to YouTube, and then you also can hear this. So now we will hear the gong bath Maya has prepared for us, and I would like to ask you and invite you for some short introduction. Maya, would you like to say something?
Yes, certainly. Yes, thank you, Ingrid. So if anyone just gets comfortable and closing their eyes and taking a deep breath, deep cleansing breath, as you just notice your body and connect with the center of stillness within. And just think about the last time you were sitting in nature and how that felt for you. Or maybe you would like to take yourself to your favorite place in nature and just stay there and allow the sounds of the gongs to work with you. Just take a deep breath, allowing your awareness to develop more and more. And when you are ready, open your eyes and become fully present.
Thank you, Maya, for this wonderful experience.
Thank you, Ingrid.
It was the first time I could
Thank
hear
you.
the song and the words and the singing. It was for me the first time.
That's lovely.
I only knew the gong or the words and the gong, but now also the song or the singing It was very, very the vocal, I have to say. It was
Ah,
an
yes,
amazing experience. Thank you
yes.
so much.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you for having me here tonight. Oh,
It was a
it's tonight for me.
pleasure. Yes, for me afternoon. So we will continue our series. It will take a little bit because we are very busy both, and we will keep you updated when we will come together for the next part of our journey together back to Lemurian and to reconnect with Lemurian energies and integrate it into daily lives. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Maya. It's always a pleasure to be connected with you in
Yes,
this
thank you, Ingrid.
lifetime.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, in this lifetime again. Thank you,
Again.
Ingrid. Thank you, everyone who joined us today as well. It was a real pleasure to have you online with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I will stop the recording and then say goodbye.